Shabbat Shalom. We are so glad that you're here with us, joining us on this Shabbat Chol HaMoed Pesach. We hope that the service will bring you a tremendous amount of joy and sweetness as you bring Shabbat into your home and into your lives on this morning. Please sing with us and pray with us. Some of the prayers will be shown on your screen, and we'll call out page numbers for those who are following along at home with your own copy of Mishkan Tefillah, our prayer book. Wherever we are becomes holy and sacred space. Our opening prayer, Matovu, acknowledges the beauty and holiness of the physical spaces that are around us, each and every one of us. Page 172. We now transition from looking around us to seeking and connecting with the holiness that is within us, our God, our soul, everything that comes from our spirit. We sing together Elohai Neshama, page 174.
אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi
We continue with our Nisim Bechol Yom, our blessings for the miracles of our everyday life. When we pause and say these blessings and recite them, we become more aware of and indeed more grateful for each of these things that we so often take for granted. Page 175 and forward.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen. So that last blessing, which is the blessing for the study of Torah, leads us into a little taste of Torah, a little teaching of text. And so on page 180, these Elu Devarim, these are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer and making peace among people. For the study of Torah encompasses them all. We now continue with page 188, Kol HaNeshama, our praise and thanks of God.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
We mark going from the opening part of our service to the next part of our service, which will be the Shema and its blessings. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish, page 194.
Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shmei Rabba Ve'almadi v'achirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechonu v'yomechol U'chayechol Beit Yisrael Bagala U'bizman karev Ve'meru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Le'olam Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yitpa'al V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yithalel V'yithalal Shemei Dekudisha Rechu Le'elam Yikol Birchata V'shirata Tush Bechata V'nechemata Damiran Be'ala Ve'yimeru Amen.
The Baruch Hu is on page 195. Please rise either inwardly or outwardly.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed
We continue together with the morning prayer, the Yotzer, Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvarei choshech, Osei shalom uvarei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha berachamim, Uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit, Ma'arabu ma'asacha Adonai, Kulam b'chochma asita, Malah ha'aretz kinyanecha, Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shavach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita ifa'arucha sala, or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu mehera le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer ha'me'orot. Page 199. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you've spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully, we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch Ata Adonai, Habocher Be'amo Yisrael B'Ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha b'derech, uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uv'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lehiot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 203. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
No Tehilot, oh Sefele, no Tehilot, oh Sefele, Shira Chadasha, Shibechu Geulim, Leshimcha Asatayam, Yachad Kulam, Odu Vehimlichu, Ve'amru, Adonai Yimloch, Adonai Yimloch, Le'olam Vaed. Sur Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufedechinu mecha, Yehuda be'Yisrael, Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Each time we pray the Amidah, we are reconnected to our ancestral mothers and fathers. As God was a source of blessing and comfort to them, we ask for those same blessings now for us and for our children and grandchildren. Please rise for the Amidah.
Adonai Sefat איתך, ופי אגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. We continue with the Kedusha on page 208. Mekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, kishem shemakdishim oto b'shnei marom, hakatuv al-yad nevi'echa, v'kara ze'el zeh ve'amar, kadosh kadosh kadosh, Adonai Tzevaot, Yelofol haaretz kevodo. Adir Adirenu Adonai Adonenu Adir, Shemcha bechol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai bimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu vehu Yochinu, verachamav le'enei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzion, Ledor vador. Hallelujah. Ledor vador nadidor lecha, Netzach netzachim kedushatcha naqdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
You You may be seated, and we continue with Yismechu, our prayer, part of our liturgy that talks about the joyfulness of Shabbat. The word Yismechu is the same Hebrew root as Sameach, happy, and so we shall rejoice in the beauty and in the delight of Shabbat. This morning, because it's Passover, we have a special reading that, if you're following along in the prayer book, is on page 213. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers, on this day of Pesach, be mindful of us and all your people Israel, for good, for love, for compassion, life, and peace. Remember us for well-being. Amen. Remember us and visit us with blessing. Amen. Help us to a fuller life. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha v'yirah na'avod. We now continue in prayer for the greatest blessing of all, the blessing of peace for all people, for each and every one of us. We continue with Sim Shalom.
Sim Shalom, Tova Ubracha, Ein Bachesed Berachamim Berachamim Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yisrael Amecha, Barcheinu Yotzreinu Kulanu Ke'echad, Ve'or Panecha. Ki be'or panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, tova ubracha, Chen b'chesed berachamim berachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Torat chaim ve'ahavat chesed ve'ahavat וחיים ושלום, שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חיים וחסד ברחמים ברחמים עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, בטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חיים וחסד ברחמים ברחמים עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We continue now with our own prayers, the prayers that emanate from our hearts and our souls, unique to this day and this time. We continue silently.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו
So I wanted to share a little bit of Torah with you this morning. This week's portion is a special parsha for the Shabbat that falls during Pesach. And I have chosen to select a bit of that. It's from Exodus chapter 33, verses 18 through 23. And specifically, the verses are where Moses yearns to know God's ways and asks to behold God's presence. God promises to make all of God's goodness pass before Moses, and the grace that God will grant and the compassion that God will show. Our text continues, God telling Moses, "You cannot see my face, for no person may see my face and live." God then instructs Moses to station himself on the rock, and God's presence will pass by, and Moses will be shielded by God until God passes. Then Moses will see God's back. I chose this passage as we yearn to see one another, panim al panim, which is face to face. I also share this at a time when many of us yearn to feel God's nearness and comfort. These verses emphasize God's goodness and compassion and grace, all blessings, all the blessings that we are in need of. While it is not likely that these verses were constructed at a time of global pandemic, it is the beauty and timelessness of ancient text and teaching that has the power to be meaningful and instructive at this time, as it is in most times. We are reminded that even when we cannot see one another's faces, and even when the physical proximity that we're accustomed to changes, we can still see goodness. Ever apparent is the goodness of one another and the goodness of God. As our text teaches that God allows God's back to be seen, we too are often only able to appreciate the gestures and impact of others after it has been done. Let us be God's presence in these days and in all days. Work of our hands, the kindness and gestures of our hearts be a manifestation of God's goodness, God's comfort, and God's grace. And bring us closer to a time when again we can gather and see one another, panim el panim. And so I will share those verses with you. Vayomar hareini na et kevodecha, Vayomer ani a'avir kol tuvi al panecha, V'karati et b'shem Adonai lefanecha, V'chonoti et asher achein, V'richamti et asher arachein, Vayomer lo tuchal yirot et panai, Ki lo yirani hadam v'chai, Vayomer Adonai, Hine makom iti, v'nitzavta al hatzur, v'haya ba'avur kevodi, v'samticha v'nikrat hatzur, v'sakoti pi alecha lovri, v'hasiroti et kapi, v'ra'ita et achorai, Ufanai lo yera'u. In the translation of those verses, Moses said, "Oh, let me behold your presence." And God answered, "I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim before you the name Lord, and the grace that I grant, and the compassion that I show. But," he said, "you cannot see my face, for man may not see me and live." And the Lord said, "See, there is a place near me. Station yourself on the rock. And as my presence passes, I will put you in a cleft of the rock and shield you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will take my hand away, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen." Let this indeed be a time that we feel God's presence near us, in the presence of loved ones and friends who we're not able to gather with close in proximity, that we are just in a cleft nearby, somehow being sheltered and protected, and always aware of the many blessings that have happened and been done for our favor and benefit that we see the back of. May that be our prayer, King Yehi Ratzon, and we say, Amen. We are called to be near as a source of strength and love for all who are sick in the world, all that we know who are suffering, perhaps people's bodies who are racked with disease or virus, those who are also suffering with anxiety and loneliness. We pray for them on this Shabbat as we pray for them each and every Shabbat with the words Mishaberach that can be found on page 253 of the prayer book if you're following along with us. We pray together in song.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Few announcements on this Shabbat morning. All program services and meetings at the synagogue have been moved to electronic platforms, postponed or canceled through May the 4th. We're providing links and updates to our programmatic schedule, including Shabbat worship access information on our website. It's the best way to find out when we're going to be broadcasting a class or a service, so please check back regularly for updates. Our Passover festival service, including Yisker, will take place on Wednesday morning at 10:30. The service will be available for viewing by the Proler Chapel streaming link and our Facebook page, similar to how you're watching this service now. Also, we ask and remind you to save the date and join us online for our congregation's annual meeting, which is next Sunday, April 19th at 9:30 a.m. It's the one day that we actually do the business work of the congregation as a whole community. The meeting will be held via Zoom, and pre-registration is now already available on our website. If you've not yet done so, I ask you to please go and register and plan to join us next week. Finally, as a reminder, please stay up to date with all our messaging, locate how to access program and worship offerings, including links to classes. Those things often change as the electronic platforms we're using are changing their technology. So if you ever are trying to find us, please go to our website and find the most updated links for classes and services. We want to make sure anyone who wants to join us can join us, and we know it can sometimes be frustrating or hard to have the correct information if it's something that we got in an email earlier in the week. So always go to that website. Additionally, we have a coronavirus response page to talk about how we're working with families and life cycles. And if you're somebody who's in need of help and support during this really stressful, difficult time, please know that the clergy and staff of the congregation are here for you. And we certainly want to know how we can continue to be a loving source of strength and support during this time that we can't physically be there to sit with you and wrap our arms around you. As we turn towards the conclusion of this morning's service, as we do for every service, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth. We lovingly remember our dear ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the many martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat morning, we are sending loving thoughts and sympathy to the families of Bert Lloyd Roslin and Linda Cohn Walter, laid to their eternal resting place just in recent days. For all those and those that you are mourning, we ask you to say their name aloud, to bring their loving memory and presence into your home and into your presence this morning as we respond with the words of Kaddish. We join together on the screen or on page 294. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'yalma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam olamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha brihu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da amiram bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru, amen.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We know how good it has been to pray together and sing together, Hinei Matov.
Hinei matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Thankful for all the sweet things in life and all of our continued blessings. We now have a chance to give thanks to God over the sweetness of the Kiddush wine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim. On this Shabbat Passover, instead of our challah, we of course have matzah, or in my case, tam-tams. I think they taste a little bit better than matzah, quite honestly. But you know what? When we think of matzah, matzah is made of the similar bare stuff, right? Of flour and of water, a little salt, and so it is the flat essence, the substance that we really do need to sustain us. It may not be as squishy and sweet and tasty as we're accustomed to. And in this week, help us to cling to those essential things, those things that do have the capacity to continue to nourish and sustain us, even if it's not our first choice, even if it's not what we are accustomed to. It is good enough. It is what we have. It will help us. We will be okay. We sing Hamotzi together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Amen.
Amen.
With our service now complete, I ask God's blessing on all who are watching and all who are in need of strength and blessing this day. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's presence be turned to you and be a source of sweet compassion and grace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you feel God's nearness to you, wrapping you in a cover of peace. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, David Tanner, for helping to support us and make sure everyone can see the slides and hear us. We really appreciate it. Even though no one can see you, you're an essential part of our service, and we so appreciate it. Barbara, thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.